What would you like to talk about now?
You, I suppose.
No, I'd like to keep talking about you.
No, I want to talk about you. So, have we ever worked together? Oh, that's talking about me now, isn't it?
Seriously, you want to talk about us working
I
together?
want to talk about us working together. What's the first thing we worked on together?
An episode of Catwalk,
Yes, it was.
wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
No,
Yes,
the first thing we ever worked on together was the short film that I did after I worked on Moonstruck with Norman Jewison, and a producer who wanted to hire me said, I'd like to see you direct a dramatic short.
Right.
And I went and did a 12-minute that piece that you and Clark Johnson were in. That was the first time we worked together. You didn't take direction then, and you still don't.
Because I knew better. I don't need direction. I'm not good at actors. I self-direct.
I don't know. What else did we work? We worked on Catwalk. I can't really remember Catwalk that well. It wasn't that memorable to me.
Okay, so what's your favorite genre to work on as a director?
I have many favorite genres, and I have actually been very lucky in getting work in a number of different genres. I work in, right now I'm doing a lighthearted procedural.
Okay, what's a lighthearted procedural?
I'm working on a show called Bones. It's on Fox on Thursday nights with David Boreanaz and Emily Deschanel, and it's a cop show. There's a murder investigation every episode, but there's also a sense of humor to it. There's some romantic tension between the two leads. It's a fun show to work on because it has humor to it. It's not dark and serious all the time. Some of the time it is, but not all the time. I recently did an episode of Supernatural, so right there, you've got me in the cop show genre, and you've got me in the the fantasy or science fiction genres. Last year, I did a 4-hour miniseries about a Canadian hockey icon named Don Cherry. And that was a wonderful piece to work on. I got to do period hockey. I think we spanned from 4 decades, from the 40s up until the end of the 70s, and that was a piece that was just a dream come true, a real passion project for me to work on. But what happens in our industry quite often to actors, directors, everybody, is you get pigeonholed because the business wants to categorize you. And if you're a car commercial director, you can't direct beer commercials because you do car commercials, and cars have nothing to do with beer. And that sort of extreme example, I think, applies to everybody across the board. And quite often, like when I first started out, I started doing cop shows. And I was a cop show director, and I was trying to get on the Outer Limits. This is back in the mid-'90s in Vancouver, and I desperately wanted to go and do that show. It was an anthology show. Each episode was like its own little movie, its own little story, its own actors. It was just like a dream come true to get on it, but I had a hard time breaking down the door because I was a cop show guy. And finally, they let me in, and I became a sci-fi guy. And a couple years later, I was trying to get on a cop show, and I couldn't get on the cop show because now I'm a sci-fi guy. So I feel like I'm really lucky that I'm able to go cross genres in my career, and in the course of a given year, I'll go back and forth between sci-fi, a period hockey movie, and a cop show. And I really like that because I'm not a person who just wants to do one thing. I like everything from romantic comedy to horror movies. I mean, it all appeals to me. And Norman Jewison, actually, who obviously is my idol and my hero for giving me the break that he gave me, has a career that I've always aspired to, in the sense that Norman's done everything over the course of his career. He did, In the Heat of the Night, a very, serious cop movie set in the South with a lot of racial tension in it. And then he did Jesus Christ Superstar and Fiddler on the Roof, 2 big musicals. And then he did Injustice for All, and then he did Moonstruck. I mean, he's really, done everything. And I think that as a filmmaker, whether you're a television director or a feature filmmaker or whatever it is, you have to keep doing things that really interest you. And for me, if I was doing the same thing over and over and over again, I think it's not that I'd become disinterested or bored. It's just that my sparks are really fired by having a variety of things that I'm working on.